되게 올해 초가 생각이 나는데요. 올해 초에 저희가 되게 심적으로 많이 힘들었었어요. 그래서 저희끼리 얘기를 하면서 해체를 할까 말까 고민도 했고.
December 2018. The world is at their feet. BTS has just won Artist of the Year. But as they stand under the bright lights, the mood isn't celebratory, it's heavy. Through tears, they confess to a global audience that just months earlier they considered disbanding. The biggest band in the world almost quit. Why? Because the road to that stage wasn't just hard. It was a battle against an industry that wanted them to fail. To understand their triumph, we have to look at the bizarre disrespect they faced when they had nothing. In 2013, BTS was a dead spoon group. They came from Big Hit Entertainment, a tiny label on the verge of bankruptcy. While the competitors from the big three agencies lived in luxury, all 7 members of BTS shared a single cramped bedroom. They were so poor, they had to film their first reality show in a borrowed house. They wore cheap, knockoff jerseys with their names printed on them just so people would recognize them. But the lack of money wasn't their biggest obstacle. It was the lack of respect. In the rigid hierarchy of K-pop, BTS was treated as an invincible underdog. Seniors in the industry openly mocked their name, which is Bulletproof Boy Scouts, calling it childish and embarrassing. The bizarre part, they were often treated like they didn't exist. They would film for hours on variety shows, only to find out that their entire segment was cut from the broadcast. In 2015, when they finally won their first trophy, the industry didn't applaud. It attacked. Malicious rumors of strategy or chart manipulation were spread to discredit them. Critics said a group from a small company didn't belong at the top. They were downgraded, degraded, and told to stay in their lane. But BTS did something unique. They refused to play by the rules. Instead of hiding their pain, they sang about it. They wrote about mental health, social injustice, and the struggle of youth. Things that were often taboo in K-pop. By 2016, the tide turned. When they won their first grand prize, which was Daesang, they stood frozen for seconds, unable to believe they were allowed to win. From there, the BTS phenomenon exploded. They didn't need the validation of the Korean industry anymore because they had found a global family which is known to be ARMY. They went from being mocked by seniors to being the first Korean act to top at Billboard 200, speak at the UN, and sell out stadiums worldwide. Those who once looked down on them now had to look up. So, when we talk about BTS, we aren't just talking about a boy band. We are talking about 7 outsiders who survived the desert to find the sea. Their story is a reminder that being degraded by others doesn't define your worth. They nearly disbanded because the pressure of being the first was too much. But they stayed because they realized their voice mattered to millions. So from 7 boys in one room to a global sensation, this is the miracle of BTS. I'm HUSNA SYAHMIN, and thank you for watching!